What up, team? Congratulations to everyone that qualified for this training. This is the second training call that we have. I'm excited about this call. The first one that we had was with Jefferson Santos. It was incredible. It was next level. It was one of literally, to me, I know you guys may have a different perspective on it, but it was one of my favorite trainings from Jefferson Santos. He literally blew the roof off the building when he came on in last week and shared the nuggets that he did share with us to help take our business to that next level today. I'm super excited about this one because we have the one and only Mr. Obviously, we know Mr. Matt Morris, and Matt Morris is someone that I been watching since I started my journey in network marketing. I was always the person that said, man, if Matt is doing it a certain way, why don't we follow the way Matt is doing it? Because obviously he was the number one money income earner in our previous company, and he will for sure be the number one money income earner here and at Secret. I mean, he's one of he's a legendary networker. Period. He's an top selling author. The Unemployed Millionaire is his book. International speaker. He's built teams all around the world. I mean, imagine having teams all around the world, from Asia to Africa to Europe. I mean, from New York. I mean, just all over the place. That's literally getting paid in every different time zone. I mean, that's the epitome of freedom, right? That's what you call residual income. He's literally, to me, he's one of the best that's ever done network marketing. I've been studying him from years, listening to his audios. I've read his book. I mean, I'm so just grateful to be working with Mr. Matt Morris. Red Diamond, Matt Morris. Are you on the line, baby?
I am on. Here we go. Awesome, man. I appreciate the introduction. Excited to be with you guys. Congratulations for being on this call. You earned it. We originally, when we rolled this out, we called it the Have It All training that we would do with a handful of us, and excited to be delivering to you guys. And I'm gonna do something that none of you guys have ever seen me do. It's nothing that I've ever trained my organization with. Something that I came up, special for this, and it's specific. It's very specific to where I am in my journey and how I am and how I have charted my life course. So you're going to get a kind of a deep insight today. And Jay, man, just appreciate you so much, man. The way, having seen you in the very beginning, and where you've come from. I mean, you had passion and energy, and you were impressive in the beginning, but you definitely have transformed in a massive way. And if I look at my journey over the years in network marketing, from when I got in network marketing to even when I got full-time in network marketing to where I am today, I am a completely different person. And I think Jay will tell you the same. I mean, completely different person. At our core, we still have, the core of who we are. But as far as our level of confidence, awareness in life, our success IQ, all of those things, night and day difference. And I remember going to New York. Jay was, I believe, a senior rep. He may not have even been a senior rep at the time. I can't remember. And we did a presentation. He got up and did his testimony. And it was literally like, man, I wish I had it recorded. It would be worth some money now. But it was like, he got up and he's like, hey, man, here's my background. I got in this thing. I just started sharing with a bunch of people. I made a bunch of fucking money real quick. Get in. Like, literally, I made a bunch of fucking money real quick. And
I remember that. I think that was in the city.
yeah. It was awesome. So, man, it's just been awesome seeing your journey and the way that you lead, being able to hit diamond. Not a lot of, not a lot of people have hit diamond already, man. And so you are crushing it. I know We're honing in on Blue Diamond, and may get Blue Diamond done this month for sure. So I'm gonna, again, this is a training I haven't done before. Um, I've trained a handful, just like individually. I've gone through this concept with people, but I've never done it in an open setting. And before I get into it, I mean, I just want to set the stage. You know, as a trainer, before you train on a concept, you kind of it's always good to pre-frame the training. In other words, give a little foundation for the training. And it's kind of like in if you're doing closing training, before you jump in, like my take on training is before I get into how to's on closing, I don't just jump in and say, here's how you close a prospect. You say this. When the presentation is over, you say this. See, you want to give some context behind why what you're telling someone to say actually works, to go through some psychology, to go through some belief, and to basically pre-frame it. And so what I'm doing here is, before I get into the meat of what I want to talk about, is just talking about success in general and, you know, my journey. So I got into network marketing when I was 18. I was in college. I had a cute waitress that invited me to see it, and invited me to a hotel one night. I literally was like, cute girl night, hotel I'm in. She ushered me into a presentation room, and I saw my first Amway presentation. And I'd never heard of Amway. I had never heard of network marketing. I left thinking, I can't believe they're the only company in the world that does this. And I thought I was going to be making six figures very, very quick. And I quickly discovered that success is not, isn't that easy, right? And here's what I kind of realized is that network marketing is a mirror. Success is a mirror. And in order to achieve the success that you really want, you know, you've got to be able to look in the mirror and take ownership of it. And it's been a mirror for so many years in my life. As I grow as a person, I end up creating more success. And as I grow a little bit more as a person, I end up creating more success. And what I've kind of come to realize is, you know, your success is really a reflection of who you are. And that's kind of what I mean by, you know, looking in the mirror. Success happens to you based on who you develop as a person, right? And there's this thing called the law of the lid, which you may have heard. Your success never rises beyond your level of leadership, or your success will never pass your level of personal development. It will never pass your level of growth. And so we always must be growing. And it's one thing, if there's one thing I've really done right over the years, is I've always had a massive commitment to continuing to grow. And there's, you know, Tony Robbins has his, you know, 6 human needs. You've got, and it's important. This is, I'm not here to train on the 6 human needs, but I would encourage you to do some homework and go look up the 6 human needs and study the 6 human needs. If you can get Tony's audio program, it's probably available somewhere online. But he breaks it down into the you know, 6 needs that we have as humans. So number 1 is significance. We like to feel important. We like to feel like what we do matters. So significance is one. Certainty is one, where, you know, certainty in a relationship, certainty in, you know, I do work and I get paid. It's one of the reasons why those of us who were with our past company, our world got turned upside down, because the certainty we had, do work, get paid, went away and knocked people out of the game. Because without certainty, most people can't handle, they just can't handle life without certainty. So you have significance, you have certainty, you have variety. one of the things that I've loved about network marketing and loved about travel is there's lots of variety. There's no shortage of variety out there. Okay. Um, and so meeting new people, dealing with different people, the craziness that we've experienced, because I tend to try and wire my brain to be more excited about variety than certainty, because they're often in the business world, in the entrepreneurial world, in the network marketing world. A lot of times there's not as much certainty as we'd like. We feel like we have certainty that someone's going to join our business and they don't. So we've got to look at variety and say, oh, there's an example of variety. You have love and connection, which one of the amazing things that we have in network marketing is there's an abundance of love and connection. I mean, we have this amazing family feel. And then you have contribution, which is why network marketing is such a perfect vehicle for me, because I love to contribute to others. And that gives us a feeling of purpose, right? It gives us that feeling that that our life matters. And then the sixth is growth. And that is, if I look at my drivers, one of my biggest drivers that I think is important is growth and continuing to learn. And I've got wires here, so I can't move my camera around, but books everywhere. Like my library, literally, well over 1,000 books, just everywhere, right? We just donated a bunch of books because we're running out of space, and it freaks me out to give away books because I place so much value on books. And here's an interesting thing is, and this is Tony Robbins and other studies have said, if you meet 3 out of the 6 human needs, you'll form an addiction. And so you think about that, and you think about the culture of what we create in network marketing, you can kind of get all 6. It's very easy to get addicted to doing what we do. You get significance at a pretty high level. You get, in many cases, certainty at a high level. In many cases, variety at a high level, love and connection at a high level, contribution at a high level, and growth at a high level. And here's why I say you hit 3 or more at a high level, it forms an addiction. My question to you is, what are you addicted to? What are you addicted to? And so I try to get addicted to things that are healthy, that stay away from things that are unhealthy addictions, but get addicted to something really worthwhile. And that is succeeding in life. That is addicted to being a great parent, addicted to growing as a human, addicted to stepping into my full potential, addicted to helping other people step into their potential. And it's just one of those things that I think about a lot. And, again, this is not something I've shared a lot before, but it's something that goes through my mind quite a bit is, what am I addicted to? And how do I further those addictions? Working out, being physically fit. That's something I'm addicted to. And I try to be addicted to it. And as I look at my journey over the years, if I go back 20 years ago, when I was, let's say, 25 years old, I had just become a 6-figure earner. In fact, multiple 6-figure a year earner, was making about $40,000 a month at 25 years old. Changed my world dramatically. But it was interesting. Like, I read a ton of books. I was obsessed with reading and learning and growing and listening to audios. And I developed quite a bit, and I just outworked everyone. I mean, if you want to know the formula for succeeding at a very high level, you just outwork everyone else, outwork everyone, and outlearn everyone. So grow more than everyone else and work more than everyone else. And what happens is you end up having more success than everyone else. And so it was interesting. I didn't have the level of insight that I do today about myself. I didn't have the level of insight about human nature and psychology and all that. And here's what happened was I created a tremendous amount of success. I was the top number one income earner in the company at the time, but I didn't feel like the most powerful leader. Um, I still had so many feelings of self-doubt, so many like questions in my mind. Like I'd get off stage and I'd question myself. And why did I say this? I should have said that. And constantly comparing myself to other people and like being super intimidated if I was in situations with other powerful leaders. And it was just, it was fascinating because, now looking back, what I realized is everyone else was looking up at me as like the elite of the elite. Like I was the top dog, even though I was young, and I didn't quite feel it. And what I came to realize is years later that I was actually way better than I thought I was. And even if I go back to um, before I was crushing it in network marketing, when I was in a company, and because I just worked like crazy and I had read so much on sales and closing, I used to do these closing calls, and people would listen in, and it was I was like calling sales leads. It was kind of a weird thing, but we had like leads and we just cold call leads. And I was like the weird one that was willing to make thousands of calls, like 200 calls a day, thousands and thousands of cold calls. And I'd get on these training calls and I'd train other people on, how to make these calls. And I didn't feel like I was so good, but I would close people on the call and people would be like, "Oh my God, you're amazing." And I remember my upline was a guy named Corey. He actually owns a network marketing company right now, a nutrition company. And there was another guy that was in my upline. His name was Russ. And I thought, like, I looked up to Russ like he was a god in closing. And I remember talking to Corey one day and he was edifying me, talking about how good I was. And I was like, "Yeah, man, but listening to, Russ, the way he, speaks and trains." And Corey stopped me and he goes, "Dude, you don't know this, but you are way better than Russ." And I just didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. I couldn't imagine, because of like how I grew up, self-limiting beliefs, all that. I just couldn't believe it. And the whole point of this is I was way better than I thought I was, way better. And I go forward, when I owned a network marketing company, I had this thing where like I owned a company and I worked my butt off. Like I worked like crazy, 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 crazy. And, we ended up doing pretty decent. I mean, 100,000 people in the company in about a 4.5, 5 year time frame. And I always held back. It was always like I wouldn't initiate a lot of leadership conversations. I wouldn't initiate a lot of leadership calls within the organization. I'd kind of leave that to the leaders. Even though I'd have like great ideas, I just kind of leave it to others. I just kind of hold back. And in running the company, like I was the founder and the CEO, and I always felt like I was inadequate. I always felt like I needed to hire a president with more experience. And so I would interview presidents and CEOs to run the company. And I never found anyone, but I'd interview someone who had, 20 years experience in network marketing or whatever. And it was just like, it was almost like I was intimidated to interview them because of their experience, even though I own the company. And I tell you this for a reason. The reason why I tell you this is because some of you are listening to me and you're relating to it. And some of you are listening to me and it hasn't clicked yet that you're doing the exact same thing that I did. So in secret, when it comes to calling your friends, when it comes to prospecting, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to many things, you're holding yourself back. You're holding yourself back because you don't think you're as good as you are. And I don't want it to take you. It took me 20 years as an entrepreneur, over 20 years, to realize how good I was. Now, that company went away and I got involved in our last company. And, after a period of time, I became the number one earner. And what I found myself doing all the time is holding back. I found myself even being intimidated. And I'll tell you, it wasn't until the last few years, it wasn't until probably 2016, 2017, when I finally got rid of that thing. Like, I used to be where someone would give an amazing talk on stage and I genuinely would be like, damn, I pissed that I have to follow someone that's so good because they're going to look so much better than me. And it was an interesting experience when I finally got, and I know I'm probably like 5 years from now, I'll probably look back at where I am today and I'll think, man, you're way better than you thought you were. But I was finally able to get rid of this like intimidation on stage. Like, I'd still get nervous on stage. Like, I still get nervous giving a big talk because I want to deliver, right? But not in the sense of I'm intimidated about someone else. And I remember someone giving this incredible talk on stage, and it was just like lights out amazing. And I was the next speaker. And it was right as I was coming into this realization. Again, this was like 2016, 2017. And I came on stage and I was able to actually deliver in a powerful way because I wasn't on stage comparing myself to the person who just spoke. I was on stage giving it everything that I had. And I'll tell you, in my journey, I know a lot of you have a desire to be a speaker, to be a trainer. And it took me a long time to really come into my power. And, I hope you don't take that as me being egotistical or anything like that. I'm just like, I feel like for many, many years, I wasn't living my power. I was trying to be perfect. I was trying to uh, be sharp. I was trying to be impressive. And what's interesting is, as long as you're trying to be impressive, you rarely show up as impressive. You rarely show up that way. Um, and one of my breakthroughs as a speaker came when I stopped making it about me and I started making it about the audience. And, we probably easy like, oh, well, yeah, I know it's not about me. It's about the audience. Yeah, we know that. But we have an incredible tendency to want to look good. In fact, I've heard people make an argument that everything that we do is to look good. Everything we do. In fact, I was at a seminar one time and it became very heated. And I want you to just consider that for a minute. Consider that just about everything that we do to look good. And, that's what the speaker said at this event. And people were pissed. And a lady like thought she had the best argument, and she's like, I give to charity and I volunteer my time and I do this and I do this and it's in the service of others. And he's like, well, it's interesting that you just got up and edified yourself on all the amazing things that you do. Could it perhaps be that you do all those things and you edify yourself right now because you want to look good? And she actually took it in and she's like, oh, wow. So I'm not insulting by this. I'm just saying, consider for a minute that we often live our lives and do everything that we do to look good. And what if you were able to not worry about having to look good? And I'll tell you, it's where I made a shift as a speaker. And my prayer before I got on stage was to just allow me to make an impact in others and take the focus. Like, God, please allow me to take the focus off me and put the whole focus on them, and to just give me the words, because I would stress out about having the right words. And I started saying a prayer saying, God, just give me the words. And it's been fascinating, an incredible experience. I just had it happen in Phoenix. We did an event there, and I said a prayer before I got on stage. And I said, God, just give me the words that will cause people to create the shift that they need right now. And that's all. That's what I asked for, right? And it was not about me being impressive. It's just about me being able to make the impact. And after I spoke, a lady came up to me, and it's great. I've had this happen, I don't know how many times, but she came up and she said, I came into this event and I had so much anger and so much bitterness. And she's crying, and she said, you allowed me to make a shift. And that's exactly what I had asked God to give me. And I can remember the first time this happened. Again, this is back years ago. I was speaking at Eric Worre's GoPro event, and I asked God, I said, God, just give me what I need to hit people right in the heart. Let me hit people right in the heart. And I spoke, and I was the last speaker. I got off stage. Everyone's doing pictures and signing books and stuff like that. And there was a lady like standing off in the distance. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And this was the first time I had ever like said a prayer to be able to make an impact like that. And the specific words, and it's crazy when I do this, it's like the specific words that I asked for, someone will echo back to me. And this lady, she comes back after everyone was gone, and you could tell a little nervous to come up, but she comes up and she says, I've never had an experience like this, but there was one point in your talk where I felt like a truck hit me right in my heart. Exact words that I said hit me right in the heart. So, the point of all this is, what if you could live your life not worrying, not having to constantly worry about looking good, but about really making an impact, about serving? And we can make the argument that serving and making an impact makes you look good. But I'll tell you, it created huge transformation for me. And it's just, I want you to get, more than anything else, right now, you're way better than you think you are. So if you were to compare yourself to your friends who know nothing about Secret, other people in network marketing, other top leaders in network marketing. I mean, some of you are, bronze or royale, maybe you're silver. And there's other leaders in network marketing who right now maybe are making more money because they've been at it longer, and you're way better than they are. You're like way better because you've been through a level of training and personal development through our family and through our training system that they never have. And you may be looking up to someone else thinking, oh man, if I could just be like them. And there's no power. There's no power in looking at me or looking at Jay Payso. There's no power in looking at Mark Aceta and saying, if I could just be like Mark Aceta. Because as long as you're trying to be someone you're not, it's impossible for you to capture your power. Let me say that again. As long as you're trying to be someone you're not, someone else, anyone else, as long as you're trying to be that, you'll never capture your own power. And what I want you to consider is that the unlimited potential, like the real power, is bringing out the ultimate version of you. The version of you that's mind isn't centered around looking good all the time, whose mind isn't always worried about what other people are thinking. See, that was another thing on stage, like being a speaker for the first 400 times I was on stage, I was thinking like, oh, like people are judging me. When I finally stopped caring about people judging me, when I stopped caring about making mistakes, that's when I really got comfortable. That's when I could be myself and let it rip, that's when I started really making an impact. It's like Mark Aceta as an example. I mean, we all hail him as the greatest speaker out there in network marketing, and I believe he is. But how many of you have seen him forget what the hell he's talking about? And he has no qualms about saying, I forgot where the hell I was. And part of why he's so powerful is because he's him. He's not trying to be anyone else. He's not trying to be Zig Ziglar. He's trying to be the best Mark Aceta in the world. And the best Mark Aceta in the world is going to forget where he is. Same with me. I forget where I am sometimes. Okay. So hopefully this is making an impact. And what I really want to get into here, it is planning your life. And every year, if you've been around me for years, you know, typically around New Year's, I start talking about goal setting. And I've been big on goal setting. And, you know, it's like you have a specific goal, you have a purpose behind the goal, and you have an action plan behind the goal. And this year, you didn't hear me talk about it as much. I wasn't creating like live videos like I normally do, because I've kind of changed. I'm going through a new process, and I'm bringing you guys into this. And it's something that I've done to an extent, to a pretty strong degree, but it's just taking it to another level. And I'm not even done with it. I mean, this has been an incredibly intense experience that I've gone through. And I'm going to share with you some very personal things. We've got, 60 of us on here. So this is not 1,000 people. So I'll be way more open than I probably would on a webinar with 1,000. And what I'm going to do is share my screen real quick. And what I'm going to go through, like, I don't know what I'm going to call this. I've gone through so many different, coaching programs. I'm one who will spend tens of thousands a year for, personal coaching, and even getting coaching certified. And just, I want to know it all, right? And I'm refining the process here. And so let me share my screen. And hopefully we see the notes here. All right. So I just put ultimate life mastery. And what I'm doing is going through the different areas of my life and creating a plan. And when I started the training here, and I talked about pre-framing, talking about the beliefs behind things. And see, if I can give someone belief in Secret, like before I ask someone to join Secret as an agent, I give them belief in Secret. And what I want you to consider here is that to have success at the highest levels in any area requires the right belief about that area. So from a health and fitness area, this is something that I've been very passionate about for a number of years. I found myself 20 pounds overweight, was out with the kids at the pool, and there was a video taken and a picture taken of me. And I'm happy, I'm playing with the kids, but I look at the picture and I was like, damn, do I really look like that? Because I look in the mirror, and I've like, maybe it's over the years, I've got some like healthy level of self-confidence. I look in the mirror and I'll flex and I'll be like, oh, I look good. But I look at the picture here and I'm like, man, I don't look good at all. And I went and took like, pictures from the behind and the side and all this. And I was like, shit, I do look like that. I look terrible. So I made a plan, and I realized for me to achieve the fitness goals and to achieve the body that I want, I've got to have certain beliefs about fitness, certain beliefs about health. And the question is, in whatever area of life that you want mastery in, what must you believe to live your full potential? So whatever it is, if it's parenting, what must you believe about parenting to live your full potential as a parent? As a lover, what must you believe about relationships to live your full potential when it comes to relationships? Like, what must you believe? Now, this is not something, you don't hear a lot of people training on this. And it's not something I've trained a whole lot on. But as I break it down, this is something that I've done now for years. And I've just recently refined these. And so here are my beliefs on health and fitness and what I'm going to encourage you to do. Now, what I'm not wanting to do, like, we're in blitz mode in secret right now, for sure. I'm not spending hours a day on this. I'm spending like an hour a week on this because I am hair on fire, crazy, like call after call after call after call. Life is absolutely crazy. This is not an exercise where you're going to be like, ooh, I'm going to go find myself. While you're finding yourself, you end up going broke and missing out on opportunity. You need to be in action mode. You need to be in recruit mode. And some of the areas that you can, tap into here is, what must I believe about secret? What must I believe about recruiting? What must I believe about leadership to step into my full potential? So I'm going to go through a handful of areas here to give you some insight, to let you in on my mind on why I feel like I'm able to perform at really high levels where most struggle. I had a guy reach out to yesterday or today, and he's like, you seem to have it like figured out in every area. Like, you seem to succeed at really high levels in every area. And I don't. But I succeed at a high level in a lot of areas. And the reason why I succeed at a high level in many areas of life is because I create a plan for it. And the plan starts with what I believe about that area. So when it comes to health and fitness, number one, nothing in my life is more important than my physical health. So taking care of my body comes first. It's why every day, like, even though we're in blitz mode right now, I'm still at the gym every morning. If I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, I'm going to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and get to the gym. If I don't have any time throughout the day and the only time to do it is at 5:30 in the morning, I'm going to do it. Why? Because my belief that I review all the time is that nothing in my life is more important than my physical health. And I'll tell you, I had this mixed up for the longest time. I believe that I just needed to make money and I'll worry about health later. And so I didn't work out. I got 20 pounds overweight, like out of shape, you name it. And it was a struggle for me because I was making money financially. I was doing good financially, like top earner good. But man, my body's suffering. See, I was living in either or. My encouragement to you, my coaching to you, is stop living in an either or environment. Start living in a have it all environment. That's why I thought I'd go through this, since it's the have it all coaching. Live in a have it all environment. And what happened was, I got in the best shape of my life, made a radical transformation in my health and fitness, and made way more money than I had ever made. And part of that is because I had way more energy, because I had more vibrancy. I was more electric. I was more confident. So I could have it all. Number two, what must I believe in order to live my full potential as it relates to my fitness? It's incredibly easy for me to stay disciplined and in peak health because it's my passion and it gives me incredible joy, immense joy. So it's easier for me to stay disciplined. See, some of you are repeating negative programming about your health and fitness, and it's why you're not living your full potential. You're saying, oh, I have a sweet tooth. Bullshit. You don't have a fucking sweet tooth. You have bad programming. You have no sweet tooth. You have bad fucking programming. So as long as you say I have a sweet tooth, you're going to have a damn sweet tooth. As long as you say, oh, I hate working out, you're going to hate working out. That your belief is absolute bullshit. The things that you believe about most things in life are bullshit. You just made them up. So what if it were possible to believe whatever the hell you wanted to believe that would empower you to succeed at the highest levels? So I don't believe in this whole like carb craving. Like I used to. I used to tell myself all the time, like I'm addicted to carbs. I love pasta. I love bread. How many of you relate to that? It's bullshit. It's just what you've been telling yourself. And because you've programmed yourself that you're addicted to carbs, guess what? You're fucking addicted to carbs. Number 3, I'm in control of how my body ages and I'll be young forever. Now, I still have a hard time with that because I'll be young forever. Well, physically, I know I'm going to age, but in my mind, I'm going to be young forever. And if you look at me when I'm 90, compared to every other 90-year-old, I will be young. I'll be the youngest 90-year-old you know, okay? Number 4, my body is a blessing filled with energy and self-healing power because I nourish it. Like my body is a blessing, and so I'm going to fill it with nourishment and energy. So second category is, what is your vision as it relates to your health and fitness? Most people are out of shape. Why? Because they have no vision for where they go. Number 1, they have bad bullshit beliefs. And number 2, they got no vision. So here's my vision. I have a perfectly sexy body with 6-pack abs that Devin craves and can't get enough of. That's my vision. Okay? When I read that, it motivates me to have a sexy body because I want to have a body that my woman craves and can't get enough of. I'll be a peak performance athlete for the rest of my life, always getting stronger and improving my cardiovascular endurance. I'm always getting better, okay? I have an endless supply of energy and I live each day feeling strong, powerful, and youthful. My vision is I feel amazingly sexy and I radiate positive energy and vibrancy. My extreme level of fitness is an inspiration to my children and to the world, and my impact has motivated thousands of others to live a more healthy and fit life. See, if you won't get fit for you, get fit for your children, because children tend to follow in the footsteps of their parents. And like, I'm going to offend people. I know I am, but I'm just speaking the truth, at least my truth. Is fit parents often lead to fit children. And if you look at it, if you're out at, Disney World and here in Texas, like we have Six Flags over Texas. And here's the reality. As I walk around and I look at families, the families who are fit have fit kids. And in many cases, very overweight families, parents have very overweight children. And it's a cycle that just continues, that doesn't have to continue. And then what is your purpose? Why is succeeding in fitness a must? Not an option. Why is it a must? So for me, it's a must because I'm committed to being a hero to my children and setting an amazing example for them to be healthy and fit themselves. That's important to me. I want to be a hero to my children. I want to set a great example. I want them to be fit and healthy and live in vibrancy and confidence. I'm committed to maintaining an incredibly sexy body to always turn on my lover and to make her feel like she's the luckiest woman in the world to have me. That motivates me to look and feel as young as possible for the rest of my life so I can enjoy amazing peak life experiences. To feel supremely confident, self-assured, energetic, sexy, and happy, to massively inspire and influence others to step into their greatness physically. And so then finally, what is my strategy? Okay. 2 important factors when it comes to your fitness is your exercise program and your meal program. Okay. You get those figured out and you're going to do pretty well. Okay, so number 1, resistance training 4 to 5 times a week, cardio training 4 to 5 days per week, maintaining a super low carb diet, lean meats, lots of vegetables, daily meditation, chiropractic once a week. So that's the plan. I mean, I'm on the 60-day challenge, and so I'm bumping it up. I'm working out 7 days a week. I'm doing cardio pretty much every day, and weight training typically 6 days a week. And that's blitz mode, right? So that's one area of life. So now let's talk about other areas of life. So intellectual life. So most people, when you say like, tell me about your intellectual life, they got no answer. um, and so when it comes to your intellect, your mind, see, part of the reason why hugely successful people succeed is because of their intellect. And you may not feel like you have a super high level of intellect. That's not something I grew up hearing about. I didn't grow up with intellectual training. And so this may be a little bit foreign to you, like it was with me. But I decided that I wanted to change that I was going to be a genius and apply my wisdom. And so when it comes to this, what is my belief about intellect? Well, every human has the ability to become an intellectual genius because the mind has an infinite capacity to learn. My thoughts create my emotions, and because I have the power to choose my thoughts, I have the power to choose my emotions. Beautiful thoughts create a beautiful destiny. I can manifest anything in my life through the incredible power of my mind. The best investment I could possibly make is the investment into my own mind. Now, do you think having those beliefs will help me become successful? I think so. So what's my vision as it relates? Like, where am I headed? I'm highly intelligent in every major category of life. I have an insatiable thirst for knowledge, and I'm always expanding and applying what I learned to make my life a masterpiece. I'm a master at focusing my mind to create a beautiful state of being. My intelligence inspires others to rise to their highest potential. That's the vision. What's the purpose? Why is succeeding in my intellectual life a must? My intellect allows me to live out and fulfill my life's purpose. Having control to guide my intellect and thoughts allow me to feel happy, free, overjoyed, and at peace. My children will become stronger, healthier, and happier based on my intellectual power. So, what's my strategy? Work on my life mastery plan consistently. Work on this. I'm not even done with this, but I got to work on it consistently. 1 hour of learning daily, as if I'll be required to train on it afterwards. So scheduling it in my calendar. And so spending a lot of time at the gym lately, so listening to a lot as I'm on the treadmill. Okay, as I go for walks, I'm listening to audios, I'm listening to podcasts. Number 3, spend 1 hour a day on intellectual output. So that's writing, emails, captions, videos. I will admit, I haven't been doing very well at this lately because I've been chaos. Like I've been in production mode in secret. And so intellectually, I'm doing a lot of trainings. And so this, I guess you would say this is an hour of output for sure. And it's part of becoming a leader is not just always getting the training, but giving the training. And what I'll encourage you guys to do is before you feel like you're ready, step up and train. Before you feel like you're ready, step up and train. See, when I first started having success in network marketing, my upline didn't do a training call. And I thought, man, we should have a Monday night weekly leadership call. So I just started one and I'd read books and I'd read what I would like on the call, I'd read my notes from the book. And everyone was like, oh my God, that is an amazing training. It wasn't even my stuff. I was just reading John Maxwell stuff or whoever it was. Okay, so before you're ready, start training. Always strive to associate myself with highly intelligent people. Emotional life. See, this is, if you want to know a secret to getting through crazy chaos, this is it. Now, how many of you over the last, couple years emotionally have been tested? And I know those of you that have been with us for the past couple years, you have been tested. I mean, we came out of a network marketing company that didn't pay us. If they paid us, they didn't pay us on time for a very long time. And it took a lot of emotional power to get through that. There were people who left, people who sabotaged us, people who we thought were amazing friends who talked behind our backs. I mean, you name it, man, we've been through it. And what got me through this is what I'm talking about right now. So there's a recipe to create each emotional state if you do the things that lead to that state. So there's a recipe for feeling anger. There's a recipe for feeling bitterness. It's based on what you focus on. So what is my belief as it relates to emotional power? Achieving excellence in any dimension of life requires high emotional intelligence. So I need to be highly emotionally aware in order to achieve excellence. I also believe that God gives me the power to choose my emotional states at will. Now, this is important. Think about this. God gives me the power to choose my emotional state, So I can choose to be frustrated, or I can choose to get excited. I can choose to be fearful, or I can choose to live in faith. I can choose to be upset, or I can choose to be happy. It's based on what I focus on. And there's a lot of people out there who have very little emotional control, like children. Children don't have a lot of emotional control. This is not something I can go to my kids and be like, when they're having a tantrum, and be like, Caden, you can control your emotional state at will. No, it's not something I'm training my 8-year-old on, but I'm dropping those seeds. But think about this. If I believe that I can choose whatever emotion I want at will, does that allow me to have more powerful emotions than most people who have no awareness when it comes to this kind of thing, who've just lived their entire emotional life like a frickin' ping pong ball in the ocean? If the wave goes this way, I feel this way. If the waves go this way, I feel this way. My emotional state is totally based on what happens to me. You got to flip it around. You control the emotional state. So it doesn't matter what wave comes at you. You get to choose how you emotionally react to that wave. Number two, number three, the main point of life is happiness. And so that's one of my beliefs, is that the main point of life is happiness. So why do we want to go make money? Well, we want to be more happy. Now, money doesn't buy happiness. You can be happy when you're broke, but money allows you to buy things and experiences that create a lot of happiness. Why do I want to go Crown Royale? Well, it's an adventure. It's fun. Makes me happy. Why do I want to get fit? It makes me happy. Okay, that's the point of life, is happiness. So why choose to live outside of happiness? Now, this is not something that I'm not going to say I'm happy all the time. No, I get frustrated. I get pissed off. I get angry. I feel defeated sometimes. I still have all the negative emotions, but because I have this kind of awareness and this kind of training, and I have this kind of guide to lead me, I can say, all right, correct myself, focus on what I'm grateful for, and I can flip it around. So I still get in those negative states, but I don't stay in them nearly as long as most. I can get out of them quickly. Why? Because I have a plan. This is my plan. Nothing creates my happiness but me. Nothing creates my happiness but me. So it doesn't matter what happens externally. I create my happiness. If you base your happiness based on something else or someone else, you're in for a rude awakening, because you have no control over what that other thing, what that other person does. So power is a responsibility. Power is responsibility. So nothing creates my happiness but me. I create it. I own it. So it doesn't matter what someone else does. I can have happiness regardless. Vision. What's my vision for my emotional life? I have incredible mastery over my emotional states. I'm genuinely happy and I radiate joy. I consciously focus on creating a state of happiness throughout the day, and it leads to overwhelming joy and peace in my life. So that's the vision. The purpose is a life filled with joy. Like, what if it were possible to live a life filled with joy for no reason other than the point of life is happiness. So things don't work out. I get excited. I thought back several months ago, I thought my income was just like, I thought our last company was just like, it was to the point where it's like, this thing's just going to die. And I had to choose to be happy anyway, because it will lead me to something else. Okay. I'm committed to inspiring my children to be happy. So again, children are mirrors of us. They follow in our footsteps. And so by me being happy a lot, not all the time, but most of the time, by me showing up powerful and happy, guess how my children show up? They'll show up a lot happier. The end goal and the entire purpose in life is to have a life filled with happiness. So I've kind of repeated that one. Strategy. I will remind myself that I get to do things versus have to do them. And we could go through, I could talk for the next 30 minutes about get to versus have to. Consider that you don't have to do anything. Consider that for a minute. You don't have to do anything at all. I didn't have to do this call. I mean, I said I was. So if I want to be in integrity, I got to show up and do it. But I don't have to be here. People are like, yeah, but you have to eat. No, you don't have to eat. There's a consequence that you'll die, but you don't have to eat. You don't have to drink water. You'll die if you don't, but you don't have to. You have to pay taxes. No, you don't. You may go to jail, but you don't have to. Like literally, there is nothing that you have to do. I had someone one time, they're like, yeah, well, you have to die at some point. And I said, no, you don't really have to die. That's just going to happen to you. But so it's not a have to, it's just something that's going to happen. So I have to love my kids. No, I have to go to work. No, I have to. There's nothing you really have to do. So if you don't have to do it, what if you get to do it? You choose to do it. Everything in your life, you choose to do. The things you don't want to do, you choose to do. Now, what feels better? Saying I choose to do something or I have to do something? See, part of the reason why so many people live unhappy lives is because their day is filled with, I have to go to work. I have to take my kids to school. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. You don't have to do shit. You don't have to do shit. You get to do all those things. You choose to do all those things. So flip that state around. If you want to increase your level of happiness and joy and abundance, stop saying you have to do so many things. Start saying, I get to do it. Where are we at? Number 2, I will take one night per week for a date night filled with friends, spa night or something fun. So typically one night a week, date night. We haven't been doing our date nights as much with the craziness and blitzing in secret here lately. I'll practice gratitude, realizing how blessed my life is when I feel negative emotions such as stress, sadness, and overwhelm. Listen, I'll admit to you guys, I feel overwhelmed. Like I started a marketing company about a year ago and it's took off. I've got employees over there and like they're calling me and like I'm nowhere to be found because I'm doing calls, like I'm building secret like crazy. And this is their livelihood and they're calling on me. I'm like, so I'm dealing with that. I'm like, got teams in Asia and Africa and this and that. Like it is a ton. So I start to feel overwhelmed. It happens. I'm human. And then what happens though is because I have these tools, I'm able to say, you know what? I'm choosing to feel this way. What do I need to do? I need to think about how incredibly blessed I am and all of the incredible things that I'm grateful for. And it allows me to shift that state and deal with what I choose to deal with. Okay. Number 4, I will smile an unreasonable amount. See, it's chemically proven that your smile creates positive emotions. So if you want to have more positive emotions, train yourself to smile all the time. I'll work out, talk to friends, love outwardly, grow myself, produce, and do the things that make me feel happy. See, um, one of the things in relationships here, I talk about how, love is not just a thing, love is an action. Happiness is an action. Sadness is an action. If you do things that lead to sadness, you'll feel sad. If you do things that lead to happiness, you'll feel more happy. Okay, next is character. Now, your character is the sum total of your personality traits. So, sometimes a good character is going to hurt your reputation. See, in network marketing, um, having a good character is doing what you know is right. What you know is right is offering people an opportunity that can change their life, standing up for what you believe in, pursuing your dreams and goals. You're going to have friends who look down on you because you're doing things out of the ordinary, that they don't believe in network marketing the way that you believe. And so your reputation may suffer a little bit, but that's what happens when you focus on your character. So a good character is when you consistently do the things you know you should do, and you don't do the things that you know you shouldn't do. So what is my belief as it relates to character? A strong character leads to a great life. So that's my belief. Strong character leads to a great life. I build a strong character by focusing on my core values and maintaining discipline towards living them. It's much more important to focus on my character than my reputation. So that's my belief. And every once in a while, I talk about network marketing all the time, right? And every once in a while, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't talk about network marketing so much because sometimes people look down on it. And then I just think, no, Matt, that's you being worried about your reputation. Focus on your character. Do what you believe is right, what you know is right. So what are the virtues that I strive to live by? Love. I treat all people with caring and kindness, and I enjoy feeling that the more love I give, the more I receive. Thoughtfulness, peacefulness, joyfulness, happiness, boldness, courage, determination, truthfulness, and authenticity, gratitude, loyalty, generosity. So think about, have you thought about the virtues that you want to live by? And if you haven't, I would encourage you to take some time to do so. Next is purpose. Why is succeeding at having a strong character a must for me? Why must I have an impeccable character? Because a good and powerful character allows me to live up to my highest potential and achieve everything I want out of life. Because a good character allows me to be a leader for my children and others. Because having a good character allows me to feel good about myself when I go to bed at night and truly love the man I see in the mirror. See, I didn't always feel this way, but for years and years, when I look in the mirror, I love me. I love me. Took me a long time to get to that point. Having a good character allows me to be my own source of inspiration and pride. I talked about this on the training the other day. See, it's great to be inspired by others. It's great to have mentors and role models, but if you really want to be incredibly if you want to pull out your potential, you be your greatest inspiration. How do you do that? Well, live in character. Tell the truth when it's not easy. Tell the truth when it's hard. I had a guy that I hired and a great guy, amazing guy, like really, really good guy. And I hired him to do some work, and I had hired someone else to do some work. And he asked me for some feedback about his work. And the easy thing to say was, "Hey man, you were awesome." That was the easy thing to say. And I was like, oh, I'm so committed to living in character and being authentic and truthful and doing what's best for others. So instead of that, I said, well, I had someone else do the work as well. And I decided to hire them instead. I hired two people to do to do a piece of work. And I said the other one, his work was just a lot better. So I ended up hiring him. And he was like, thank you for the feedback. And I felt kind of bad. It was like, ooh, that would hurt. But See, it's easy to have a good reputation. See, the easy way, like to have a good reputation with this guy would have been, oh man, it was awesome. Thank you so much. I don't need any more help, but thanks. No, I told him the other guy was better. So, um, and then what is then strategy. What's the strategy behind having a good character? I'll meditate 10 minutes a day to bring about peacefulness and calm. So that helps me live one of the virtues. I'll review my virtues each week and I'll think about how I'm living up to them. I'll make a point to smile throughout the day and bring about happiness and joy. I'll start each day and end each day thinking about 5 things that I'm grateful for. So that's the strategy to live a strong character. Spiritual life, and I'm not going to go through every one here. So again, when it comes to your spiritual life, what is your belief about spirituality? What is your vision about spirituality? What's your purpose about spirituality? Why must you live in excellence when it comes to your spirituality? And what's your strategy? Okay. What's your strategy when it comes to your love or your romantic relationships? So what is your belief? And listen, I'm the last one to trade on relationships. I mean, I'm divorced. I've been through a bunch of bad relationships, or not bad, but I've been through a bunch of relationships, right? Successful relationship is the most important accomplishment of my life. See, I had to change my beliefs as it related to relationships. To maintain an extraordinary relationship, I must be an extraordinary man. Love's not a feeling, it's an action. Not just a feeling, it's an action. And no other feeling fulfills more than being madly in love. What's my vision as it relates to it? Our love is a spiritual connection. We're best friends. We're fiercely loyal. We have a massive commitment to growing as a couple. We have crazy, amazing, fulfilling sex, right? So that's the vision. And what's the purpose? I'll make my loving relationship the most important aspect of my life because it's the one part of my life that will give me the most fulfillment and happiness. What's the strategy? And I've got a detailed strategy here. Communicate effectively, give her undivided attention, express appreciation, right? I mean, demonstrate my love, commit to spending sacred time together, read relationship books, attend seminars, you name it. When it comes to business, what is my belief about business? Business is a game, and it should be looked at as an exciting adventure. So there's been lots of times where business goes haywire. You're never, like, business doesn't go straight up. It's like up, down, up, down, up, down, around. Like, it gets crazy. So when it gets crazy, I can lean on my belief about business and entrepreneurship. Well, it's a game, and this is an exciting adventure. So when we've gone through lots of craziness, it's like, this is an adventure. God's blessed me with a natural and unlimited ability to create success. God's blessed you the same. Do you believe that? If you haven't stepped into much success personally, do you believe that God has blessed you with a natural and an unlimited ability to create success? And if you don't believe that, if you think that's not true, it's bullshit. It's also bullshit that I believe that about myself. But we make up our beliefs. So if we make up our beliefs based on our programming, why not make up some positive bullshit? You with me? Make up something powerful, because typically we make up things that someone else told us, that our parents told us about success. We just make it up and we wonder, well, why aren't I succeeding? Because you've got lots of crappy beliefs as it relates to business, as it relates to relationships, as it relates to money, as it relates to investments. Number 3, the secret to my leadership lies in knowing that every human possesses the same blessing as me. What if your core belief, you really believe that everyone had unlimited potential? This is something that I'll tell you, I learned from Wayne Nugent. I saw Wayne believe in people that I was like, why the hell is he believing in them? And then I had to look at me and go, why the hell is he believing in me? Because when I started working with him, I had never had any major success. I was spent more money than I made just about for 5 years. But he had an unreasonable level of belief in me. So what leads to success? Unreasonable levels of confidence. If you want to write something down, develop an unreasonable level of confidence in yourself. Believe in yourself to a point where other people would think you're crazy. You even think you're crazy, but you decide to believe it anyway. So that's number one. In our business, it's all about leadership development. It's all about helping other people step into their potential. So if you want to know a secret to leadership, develop an unreasonable level of belief in other people to the point where they think you're freaking crazy for believing in them so much. You want to have a situation where people are like, why the hell do they believe in me so much? Why does she believe in me so much? Why does he believe in me so much? You want to be that person. Unreasonable levels of belief in other people. And I believe that's been a massive key. When I adopted that towards other people, sometimes it's been a challenge. But I'm telling you, there's been so many leaders that have developed that never in a million years would have thought that they would turn into the leader they've become. So what's my vision as it relates to business? I'm a genius when it comes to network marketing, advertising, operations, and leadership. I'm a genius. That's my vision. I'm a legend in the network marketing industry. I'm the most respected and trusted leader in network marketing. My continued growth and commitment to living up to my full potential has inspired millions of other people to do the same. So that's the vision. And it may sound unrealistic to be like the most respected leader in network marketing, a legend in network marketing. I created that vision years ago. I mean, I created that vision, 15 years ago. It was unreasonable. It was an unreasonable vision 15 years ago because I was nowhere close. And a year after year after year after year that goes by, I get closer and closer and closer and closer. Okay. Now, purpose. Why must I succeed at the highest level in business? Because being successful allows me to experience peak adventures and experiences around the world. To make my life an exciting adventure, to be one of the greatest who ever played the game. People look at Michael Jordan, the greatest that ever played the game. I know some people say, it's others, but you got to say at least he was one of the greatest who ever played the game. So that's part of my purpose. I want people thinking about me 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now going, man, he was one of the greatest who ever played the network marketing game. Because it's who I am and what God blessed me with. So I for the longest time, people would ask me, like, what is it, like, why do you succeed? Like, what drives you forward? And if I'm kind of like honest and like authentic here, it's a little uncomfortable to say almost, but it's just who I am. I wasn't always that way, but why am I committed to being the number one earner in secret? Because it's who I am. Why am I committed to being a legend in network marketing? Because it's who I am. Why am I committed to being one of the best who's ever played the game? Because it's who I am. Now, I just made that shit up. I just made it up. But I can make up whatever the hell I want. I can make up whatever belief I want. Like, I believe I have unlimited potential. I just believe I have it. I also believe, because I made it up, do you do too? You do too. You can very well be one of the greatest who ever played the game. You can be the number one income earner in secret. You can pass my ass up if you'll believe in yourself the way I believe in me and the way I believe in you. See, if you believed in you as much as I believed in you, you would crush this business beyond belief. So that's my core belief about other people. It's like, that's my leadership philosophy. If I have a leadership philosophy, it's that you are the most powerful leader in secret. You're the most powerful leader in secret. You are. You just don't know it yet. When you realize it, you'll step into it. You'll realize it. And so what's my strategy in business? Outwork/play almost everyone else. I'll just outwork everyone. Now, to me, business is a game, working is a game. So it's really outplaying everyone else. I'll just play more than everyone else. I love the game. I'm going to outplay it. Constant learning, at least an hour a day. I'm learning, I'm growing. See, most people are not going to have that commitment over a long period of time. See, I've been like growing for almost 25 years. I mean, from when I got into network marketing, I got hooked on personal development and I stayed around the environment. So it's been 25 years of growth. It's like, watering a tree. There's lots of trees in the forest. And if you, like, most trees aren't getting watered every day. You water one tree every day, every day, every day. After a year, it's not any bigger than the others. Maybe a little bit, like it grew more, but you don't really notice it. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's like starting to peak up, You look back at the forest and you got this one tree that's like, it's popping up. You keep watering 20, 30 years. It's the biggest damn tree in the forest. So I may not be the biggest tree in the network marketing forest, but I'll just keep watering myself, keep growing faster than everyone else, more than everyone else. And over a long period of time, I'll be the biggest tree in the forest. Do you have that same commitment? If so, you're going to be a giant. You will absolutely be a giant. I don't care who the hell you are. I don't care what your background is. None of that matters. You will be a giant. So know that you'll be a giant. Number 3, do what's uncomfortable. So when something triggers fear, that's the indicator that I must do it. And then assuming the role as the top leader. So if I want to be the top leader in secret, I got to assume the role. If I want to be a leader that other leaders follow, I got to assume that role. It's assuming the role. Now, this is business in general. I haven't even had time. Like I have had time. That's an excuse, but I haven't yet gone through this when it relates to secret. So as it relates to secret, what is my belief about secret? And I can just tell you, we have the best nutrition products in the world, the best skincare products in the world. We will have the best travel product in the world. We have the best training system in the world. We have the best network marketing compensation plan in the world. We have the best CEO in the world. We have the best leadership team in the world. That's my core belief as it relates to secret. Now, does having that belief set me up for success? Yes. So what is your belief about secret? What is your vision for your secret business? What's your purpose? Why must you be a crown royale in secret? And then what is your strategy? What are you going to do? Lately, it's just all out massive action. I'll create my vision, my purpose, my beliefs. I'll get it all in writing. Okay. I'm training myself as I'm training you. So what do you want to master? Maybe you want to master recruiting. So what if you actually took an hour, if like you need to get really ridiculously good as it relates to recruiting? Well, as it relates to recruiting other people, what's your belief about recruiting? What's the most powerful belief you could have about recruiting? What's your vision for you as a recruiter? Why must you be successful in recruiting? And what's your strategy in recruiting? You can do that for closing. You can do that for leadership, money, parenting, customer acquisition, whatever it is that you want mastery in. Think about that. create a belief that supports success, create a vision, create a purpose, and create a strategy. So, my friends, I know that's a lot of information. I know this is something I have not gone through. I wanted to give you like a deep insight into my mind here. And again, it is like, obviously we got to go do the things, but we also have to focus on who we are. We have to focus on our internal belief systems. We've got to focus on our internal vision, our purpose for succeeding. And obviously, we got to have the strategy. So I would encourage you, take some time to go through that. My friends, hope you got some value out of this. I am just so incredibly grateful to be here in secret with all of you guys. Jay, brother, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. I'm excited about our journey together. The next several decades are going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And so, listen, we are going to create so many millionaires, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millionaires in secret. Make sure you're one of them. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Wow. Wow. So much information. Listen, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for doing this call. I mean, these calls since we had Jefferson last week has just been on another level. You just gave the blueprint. You just gave the blueprint. You're giving the keys to how to win in this business and in life. And I appreciate you guys. As soon as we hop off this call, show a lot of love to Matt Morris. Shout him out on social media. Give the people our excitement. Thank you, Matt, for hopping on this call and doing what you do. I appreciate you. I took a lot of notes. I hope you guys took a lot of notes. Let's get it. Let's take it to the next level. God bless and good night.